Hello, hi. Just waiting. Hi, hi everyone. Just check the voice first. Hello, hi Ollie, hi Mani. That's okay. So we can start. Okay. Hi everyone. Welcome to Insights with Lily Zhang. And today is 29th of January 2021. It's Central European time, uh, 15:36. Well, 3:30 in the afternoon. Normally I do Chinese program first, but today I just do um, English program first. Okay. Now, so today I'm going to talk about, because this is a chaotic world. We just been through, seems after the US election, the world is much more quieter or much more normal, but we still face the pandemic. So I think people easy to get confused, and this pandemic now is already all over the world. It's over 100 million people infected and more than 2 million people um, dead. So I think it's a time very easy to get confused, and also besides the physical threat, we might get sick, plus the economic threat, crisis, and so, I know also I've read an article. There's quite a lot of people get depressed because of the lockdown, and people get confused and the stress under pressure. So mentally, quite a lot of people feel, of course, we all, I think there's a symptom called pandemic fatigue. I just feel so sick of that. And people can, I'm in Germany, so it's since November last year, it's already been 3 months under lockdown. Used to be lighter lockdown, now it's heavy. It's a strict lockdown. And I think the government is discussing probably lockdown going to be until Easter. So I guess actually throughout the whole 2021, it's not going to finish. This pandemic is not going to finish. So that's why today I'm going to talk about uh, how to keep this, how to keep a calm and cool mind under this chaotic world. I think we all need some kind of um, calmness. And also, there are so many. We've already seen the chaotic American election. Well, the transition of the power looks okay. Seems Biden has got into power peacefully, but there are so many things we have to um, just. This is a this is a different word. So people get confused. What people just ask, and also on dinner table, people talking about politics, about this pandemic, about vaccine. People get confused. I think in this world, it's very important to keep a cool mind. Um, I've been actually doing some kind of research on the pandemic as well. And I just, yeah, I used to think that's because this is started in China. And if you watch my previous videos, you probably will see I kind of think that's kind of biological bio war created, or probably maybe a bio accident. biological warfare accidentally started in China. But when I look at history, I think for thousands of years, human history is full of pandemics. I'm going to show you a chart from that show all the pandemics throughout history from Greece, Roman period till now, the COVID-19. So that kind of changed my mind. Just after I've done some research, I just recognize maybe it's not maybe actually it's something we should all think logically and scientifically. This pandemic actually is not this pandemic. Pandemic has been with human history for a long time. So this pandemic actually is nothing really quite new. And there are so many kind of conspiracy theories. I would say that's probably controlled by some people or Bill Gates. Bill Gates has been the world's number one richest person for many years. If he couldn't predict this pandemic, he's not that smart. So just let me think again about this pandemic and also think about our way of thinking. What caused those conspiracy theories cause our confusion, and how to keep a cool mind in this chaotic world. I think currently this kind of how to keep calm, keep a cool mind, keep critical thinking is so important in this chaotic world. That's why that's the topic I'm going to talk about. I think I just concluded like 6 points. How can help us to think critically and keep a calm mind in this, or don't get trapped into some kind of conspiracy theories. Number one is I concluded. Number one, learn more, get knowledge, but don't follow anybody. This is, although I'm on YouTube, because I used to be as a group with Trend Medias. It's just, and then when I find out they are kind of promoting so many conspiracy theories, it's just kind of stupid. Yeah, but so many people believe in conspiracy theories. That's just, I think the major reason is the spread of conspiracy theories through social media. People these days, I think, they kind of trap into their information bubble. They kind of follow a guru or someone on social media, and they of course, it's an easy way to follow someone is much easier than think for yourself. So number one rule, I think, if you want to keep a cool mind, keep learning, but do not follow anybody. Oh yeah, that's easy. I'm actually on Twitter, I'm following Elon Musk. At some stage, I followed Donald Trump, kind of. Before the election, I think, of course, Elon Musk has got 42 million followers, and Donald Trump used to have 80 million followers on Twitter. It's okay to follow someone. I follow Elon Musk because I just like his attitude towards the future and his mind. Yeah. But I follow someone doesn't mean I'm going to follow all his thinking. I follow someone just because I like them, but doesn't mean I can't think for myself. And I think at this stage it's very important to think for yourself, to think using your own mind to think. It's not easy, but that's the number one rule if you want to keep a cool mind. Otherwise, you get confused, because if you follow people, it's very easy, very lazy too, because it's similar like eat someone's leftover food. someone digests the food for you, and then you eat again. I think in real life we think it's not that good, but actually in way of thinking, many people doing exactly like that. You just eat food or thoughts of food after people already digested for you. That's by following someone. So learn, keep learning, but don't follow someone. Don't follow blindly with someone. Number one rule to keep a cool mind is to ask questions. Ask hard questions. Ask questions. It's the best way. It's a show. It's a signal of you thinking. And it doesn't matter if I think even Einstein, the difference between great people, great thinkers to average people, it's started with asking questions. People are not that smart. They basically just don't ask questions. Asking questions is a way of thinking, just showing you are thinking. If you can't ask questions, you're not thinking. If you just take whatever people saying, follow someone, whatever they say, you are not thinking. If you don't ask questions. So anybody show you whatever information, please ask questions and get a habit of asking questions. And number 3 rule, once you ask questions, do your own research. Do your own research, please. If you get as far as asking questions, but you just take answers from the one you follow from social media, whatever, and just take the answer, and you don't do your own research, it's still not, your mind is still in a confusing status. You don't get the clear picture. Well, that's why doing research, people ask, how do you do research? I'm not a professor, I'm not a student. How do I do research? It's such a simple question. We have Google. You just doing research is so simple. Just read, think, and read, think again. Just the cycle of reading more. Just you just Google, type some keywords and read through the information and think again and ask more questions and read more. That's the way. Read, ask questions, think, read, ask questions, or the other way, ask questions, do research, read, think. That's as simple as that. Just a simple cycle. Number 4, I'm talking about, you do your research. How far, how deep can you should we do the research? Or you just listen to someone, watch someone on YouTube? Is that your research? I'm saying, I'm not saying it's not research, but how deep should we go? The answer is as deep as you can, as far as you can. And I'm amazed by history and the universe. And one of my research target is to see the big picture. I'm going to show you about this pandemic. It's just when you think about history, thousands of years, you get the big picture. And when you look at the universe, when you think something from the universe point of view, you get a big picture. Now, for example, about the pandemic, about this coronavirus pandemic, that's why I kind of regret, because from my early program, I was talking about, of course, the war started in China, but it's not the first time the pandemic started in China. The Black Death started in China, and Spanish flu and Asian flu started in China. The third plague was started in China. So from history, quite a lot of pandemics started from China. Well, okay, let me share some information about this pandemic. So that's an example of bigger picture, longer period, from history, from historical view and the universal view. So we can see if we look at some kind of problem, analyze the problem, let's get back to history. I think we can get better perspective. Can you see this? So this is my research. Okay, good. I think everybody can see that I just may nudge a little bit. This is a very interesting from historical view. You can see all of this. Well, this is size of virus. You know, this is from history from the Antonio plaque. It's from 165 to 180. This is the year, historically, the year from 1 century to now. Spanish flu, Russian flu, this is swine flu, and now this is, oh, that's us. That's the COVID-19. So from history, we can see, look at that. I mean, these ones symbolize the size of the pandemic. Also, that's how many people did. So we can see from here, we can see pandemic throughout human history, and because all throughout human civilization, because the human society, we become urbanized, we have trade, international trade, we have wars between countries. So it's very, from hunters, gatherers, from tribes to cities, urbanizations, more people just concentrate living together. That's where pandemic started. So as long as we live in a large society, there's pandemic. There's disease, and all those pandemic, it's infectious disease. So as long as we have a large society, large quantity of people living together, we had, and we will have pandemics. So throughout history, you can see this the Antonio plaque that was in Greek time. And this plaque of Justinian. And then they had Japanese smallpox pandemic. This is people death of 5 million people. And Black Death, in that probably we can see the size of the pandemic. About 1/3 of world population dead. So about 200 million people. That's in 14th century. So smallpox, 56 million people dead in 1520. In 17th century, Great Plague, 3 million people. 18th century, it's another Great Plague. Third plague, yellow fever. So we can see all these pandemics throughout human history. And here, that's HIV, AIDS from 1980s till still now, still going. And here, this big green thing is Spanish flu. That's probably in our modern history. Many people, well, that's probably the closest one. The huge pandemic. That's the Spanish flu. Start from 1918 to ended in 1920, and then that's the Russian flu. Also, throughout the modern history is 1957 Asian flu, 1968 Hong Kong flu. So it looks like quite a lot. Actually, from Spanish flu from 1918, to Asian flu, Hong Kong flu, swine flu, Russian flu, and here SARS, 2003 SARS, MERS. Most of them are kind of avian flu virus. So I would say all those pandemic, and here, that's here we are. I think this ball probably will grow bigger. At the moment, it's this is older information. 1.8 million people. Now it's 2 million people have died. That's current pandemic. Here you can see this is the comparison of the death toll size. The biggest one is Black Death, smallpox in 1520, and then Spanish flu, plague of Justinian. AIDS. We are here. 2020 to 2021. It's the coronavirus. So, and this chart just it's a historical chart. So when I look at this, it's just I can understand this coronavirus is not some kind of biological war. It's there forever. The pandemic's always been with human civilization and throughout human history. It's been there for a long time. And also, they recur all the time. Most of the pandemic lasts for from 2 years to 10 years or even 2 centuries. They happen again and again, comes with waves, smaller waves and bigger waves. And I'll say the Spanish flu till, we have the smaller flus, and actually Spanish flu then become seasonal flu, influenza. That's why we propagate it every year. And pandemic comes and goes, but always there. Average time from 2 years to 2 centuries. Okay. I hope you that's just that's why when I talk about when we think when we analyze the situation, when we do research, look at history, look at longer scale. When you look at this, I just show you the history of pandemics of human society. So this, if any conspiracy theory tell you this pandemic was created by Bill Gates or Chinese government, it is what it is. Conspiracy theory. When you look at human history, it's full of pandemics. And I even don't think Spanish flu ended. It's just become, because pandemic, there are 2 ways of a pandemic ended. Number 1 is the virus getting weaker. Number 2 is people get sick of that or get immune to that. So pandemic, there's no clear definition of how a pandemic ended. I think the virus it's been existing for billions of years. So as long as living cells exist, virus cells existed, and their purpose is to invade normal cells and to live. Their purpose is just to live, just like us. So that's why I think when you look at history, you're not going to believe any of the current conspiracy theories. You think these pandemics create biological war or some billion years. That's why I'm talking about so important. Do your own research. When you don't listen to anybody, don't just think for yourself and dig out. It's very easy to find. I just Google, I find that chart. Also, another one when I say is looking at the bigger pictures from universe point of view. I think there are so many. That's probably number 5 most important thing of thinking patterns. And I think Newtonian in 19th and 20th century, the old thinkings, nothing happened with no reason. I think from your normal life, which is pretty reasonable, if you touch fire, you get burned. If you drink water, to cure your thirst. So if you're thirsty, you drink water. That's for your simple, direct life. That's easy to understand cause and effect. But in the real complicated world, it's not like that. And I read quite a lot of books about quantum physics, about universe. In the universe, it's just things just happen. And also quantum theory just tell you, those there are some the existence of quantums. It's just the energy, and there are some phantom quantums too. They don't have a cause and effect. The result, it just happened. So I think the new thinking is there are so many things just happened, and you can't find the cause. And so many conspiracies, because naturally, as a human being, we like to find out the reason, what's behind this, who caused this, and then so we can comfort ourselves, and then we can maybe we can blame someone else, blame a government, blame some kind of rich people and powerful people because they have their agenda. So we feel much better for ourselves. So that's not my responsibility, because if I have financial trouble, it's not my problem. It's because of all those agenda by the government. I would like to say, in 21st century, this kind of thinking is so out of date. If you're still thinking that way, if you still try to find the cause of the pandemic, cause of the financial trouble, cause of the economic, of the debt problem, whatever problem you try to find the single cause, you'll get confused. You'll get so confused. You won't get an answer because there's no single cause. There's so many factors. So I think scientists, they analyze the modern world, or especially the quantum physics world, use that theory. They just look at patterns and momentum. So anything can cause anything, and the universe exists on the present moment. It's kind of, here, I'm not going to get too much about the quantum theory or about the universe and the old Newtonian thinking. I'm just thinking, instead of find the cause, find the reason, find the direct reason, direct cause of current situation, it's probably better or easier for you to understand, to recognize the pattern and find the momentum. It's just like the chart I show you. Throughout the history, I find the pattern. That's the pattern of the pandemic. It's always with human society. And the pattern of the pandemics always lasts minimum 2 years. So be prepared. 2021, the coronavirus will be still with us. And the pattern is how a pandemic disappears. It doesn't disappear by itself. It's just throughout mutation and many generations, the virus just getting weaker, and people develop. Some people die. Some people developed herd immunity. And another reason is people get sick of isolation and quarantined, and people just don't care. Either I die of the virus or die of isolation or quarantine. All I'm saying is instead of trying to find the reason, because you're not going to find a reason. Even if you think you find a reason, that reason could be false. And you might get the wrong conclusion, or you might get the wrong, that will cause you to make the wrong decision. Doesn't matter if you want to start a business or you start something. If you just get the wrong conclusion, that will cause your decision to be false. Anyway, that's a cause and effect. Yeah, if you make the wrong decision, you'll get the wrong. You're not going to get the result you want. But I think here the thinking pattern is very important. Just recognize, study the pattern, and work out the momentum. That's way of thinking. Last but not least, I think that's my number 6 advice is to keep calm, be cool, and keep the internal calm and build up internal strength. Yeah, this word, I know it's hard. We had lockdown. We can't really go out. Then life has not much fun. But I think this is probably a good time to build up internal strength. Internal strength, I think it's really number 1 is about your attitude. Number 2 is the way to calm yourself and to focus on something more important. And from my own experiences during this lockdown, I just intend to read more, study more, and we have better than previous old times. We have internet, we have more way of connect with each other, but it's not real connection. Just online virtual. It's still not as good as, I think we are human beings. We need the physical context. But most importantly, this is good time because next month, in March, I'm going to fly back to Australia to see my parents. But I'm going to quarantine for 14 days. I really hate that, but I think, yeah, in quarantine time, I'm probably, that's today's talking. It really is to encourage myself to build my internal strength. I'm not going to talk too much about how to build your internal strength. There are so many ways, like doing yoga, meditation, and study, control your emotion, all sorts of way to exercise daily, something like that. But I'm here just give suggestions and to share my thinkings with everyone. Hopefully, we can go through this difficult time together. Okay, that's today's my thoughts. I think going forward, this pandemic, I think, is not going to end, although we have vaccine, but the rollout of vaccine is very slow. And there are some quite a lot of people doubted the effectiveness of the vaccine. I think nobody really forced you to have the vaccination. If you don't want to have it, don't have it. Yeah, so people, you don't have to think of the conspiracy theories behind that. Yes, we are overpopulated, but the universe, the fundamental way of the universe is things just move by itself. Nobody, no God is so powerful, can move the universe, can move our society. That's something I think fundamental to understand, so you don't get confused all the time. You don't try to believe all sorts of conspiracy theory. If you don't want the vaccine, don't have it. You just risk yourself. You either you just test your immunity. If you have a strong immune system, you don't need vaccination. You don't have to cast so much doubts on that. Okay, so it's today is to share my thinking recently, and of course share some information, some research I've done. I think at the moment to keep a cool mind, because this world, our world, is going to change very fast, very dramatically in very short time. So if it's very easy to get depressed and very easy to get confused. So that's why today I'm just sharing my thoughts on how to keep you have a cool mind, to have a critical thinking in this kind of chaotic world. Okay, thank you very much, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.